25-year-old nurse's aide, Karina Lopez, is suing her former friend, 27-year-old nursing attendant, Cydia Valladares, for ripping the seat of her car. Karina says the incident took place during a night of drinking and clubbing.
Ms. Lopez, on the 15th of January, you, the defendant, and a bunch of other friends decided to go clubbing. You met at somebody's house. According to you, the defendant started to drink. She also took some medication. She said she had a headache. She got very drunk. You went to the club. You drove in your car. The defendant tried to get into the club, and she was denied entrance to the club because, according to, I think, both of you, she was too drunk. They wouldn't let her in. So you put her in your car.
Right.
To sleep it off, and you went in with your friends to the club. And when you came out of the club, you found the defendant still in your car, and the seat in the car was cut. She says she doesn't remember doing anything to your car and doesn't know how that damage occurred. Do you have pictures of the car?
Yes, I do.
Let me see it.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Karina Lopez claims during a night of drinking, former friend Cydia Valladares ruined the upholstery in her car.
Now, is this on the front passenger seat or the rear
front passenger seat?
Is that the seat that she was sitting with driving to the club?
No.
Who was sitting in that passenger seat?
Miss Howard.
That's this lady?
Yes.
Okay. When she exited the car, what time was it?
Miss Howard, it was 10:30.
At night?
Right.
Dark?
Yes.
And you didn't examine the car when she left?
No.
Did you examine the car before she got into the car at 10:30?
Yes.
You looked in the car seat? Don't say anything that's not true. If you say anything that's not true, I will hold that suspect. If something doesn't make sense, it's usually not true. Do you understand?
Yes.
Where did you find Miss Valladares?
Yes.
When you came back to the car 2.5 hours later, where was she seated?
In the front passenger seat.
And what was she doing?
Sleeping.
Did you see any sharp objects in her hand?
No.
Did you see what had caused the damage to the car?
No.
Did anyone see what had caused the damage to the car?
No.
So how do you intend to prove that the defendant caused the damage to the car?
Well,
This looks like a tear. Looks like something got caught on it. That's what it looks like. It looks like something got caught on it. So how are you going to prove that she did it?
Well, before leaving for the club, Ms. Valladares and I met at Ms. Howard's residence, where Ms. Valladares had some alcohol drinks.
She's drunk. I've already laid the framework. She was drunk. You knew she was drunk. You went to the club. They wouldn't let her in. You put her in the car. You came out. She was still sitting, according to you, in the front seat of the car. And later on, you noticed the car was ripped.
As we helped Ms. Valladares exit the car, that's when I realized that it was a tear on the seat.
And you saw no sharp objects in her hand?
No. I did not search Ms. Valladares. I don't know what happened. All I know is that the tear was not there.
No, all you know is the tear was not there when she got into the car.
Right. Ms. Valladares was also experiencing a lot of pain. The reason why she took the pain reliever is because she had gotten her tongue pierced the previous day.
What does that have to do with, what does that have to do
well,
with the
I'm assuming that maybe she was in a lot of pain, and I don't know.
I don't know either. I don't know how it happened. Neither do you.
Your Honor, may I come up?
Sure.
When we went to drop off Cydia to the car when sitting let her inside the club, the tear wasn't there.
You don't know that at all.
Yes, I do.
No, you don't.
I helped Karina put her
You don't know that at all. Madam,
it
listen to me.
There.
10:30 at night. It's dark. She's
dark.
getting into the car. You're struggling to get somebody who's drunk in the car. Don't lie. Miss Valladares says that you took her property and refused to give her back her property, her pocketbook, her keys, her cell phone, unless she agreed to pay for this. Did you do that?
No, Your Honor. Ms. Valladares left her property behind in my car. She called me later on the following day and said she would come by and pick up her belongings. She never showed up. On the 17th, I offered to deliver her belongings to her. She said she had a lot of things to do and was going to be unavailable that day. On the 22nd, when I finally seen her, I delivered all her belongings to her.
Were the police called at any point?
Yes.
Did you call the police?
Yes, Your Honor.
Police contact you?
Yes.
They told you you had to give her property back?
No, they contacted me because the police officer said that Ms. Valladares feared for her safety at work. That's what I was told.
At that point, did you give her back her property?
On the 22nd, when I
Just
finally
answer
seen
my
her.
question. After the police spoke to you, did you give her back her property?
No, they didn't ask for it, and they did not want to take possession of her property. I offered to give her property to the police officer because I was unable to contact Ms. Valladares.
Okay. Get a patch for the seat, madam. You cannot establish that, to my satisfaction, that she caused the damage to your car, and you have no right to take her property and hold it hostage. That's all.
Always excused. You may step out.
Administrative assistant Lisa Escobedo is suing her former friend, social worker Mary Dodd, for loans to buy a truck and to hire an attorney. Mary claims she paid Lisa back.
Miss Escobedo, you and Miss Dodd used to be very good friends.
Yes,
Your lawsuit has two parts to it. First, you say that you took out a loan for a truck that was her truck.
Correct.
She didn't have good credit. The arrangement was she would make the payments faithfully, and as soon as the payments were completed, the title, etc., would be turned over to her. And that was a couple of years ago.
Yes.
She did make the payments faithfully until just recently.
Correct.
And then she stopped making payments on the truck. You repossessed the truck, and now you want her to pay what is the balance owed on the truck.
Not entirely. I mean, because it's $12,000, and it's only small claims court. But actually, that's the debt that I was left with. Absolutely.
The second part of your lawsuit claims a loan to her for an attorney.
Correct.
And Ms. Dodd says with regard to that part of the loan, she does acknowledge that there was a loan.
Yes,
and she said that she faithfully paid you, I think, $100 a month.
Yeah, $100.
Which I assume you're going to be able to demonstrate to me.
Yes, Your Honor, I have checks.
And that the loan is paid off.
Yes.
So let's deal with the easy part first. Let's deal with the loan for an attorney. When did you make that loan?
April 2nd of 2003.
And how much was that loan?
$1,195.64.
Okay, so I want to see from you checks in the amount of $1,195.64 for the attorney.
There was actually one check that wasn't faxed to me from the bank.
Are these in order?
You know what? I think I did put them in order, but I think there's one or two missing in that pile.
Well, there are several months missing. You have $1,000 in payments.
That's pretty accurate as to what I thought I'd owed her, being that I stopped paying, the last payment was in August, and I thought we were done at that time, and nothing is said until I get served this that I still owe her. And several months goes by, and she hasn't...
Well, let me ask you this question, Ms. Dodd. Let's say on the attorney's fees alone, you owe a couple of $100.
Okay.
All right? Now, let's deal with the truck. What was the total purchase price of the truck?
I don't know the exact amount. I know what's owed.
How much was the truck?
It was approximately almost $10,000.
And how much is the loan?
Your Honor, I'm just telling you, I just paid $5,000 on it, and there's still $7,000 owed. So it was not $10,000 when she bought it.
No, that was the purchase price, but with the interest, it makes the price. It doesn't seem like it ever goes down.
Well, why are you sticking her with that obligation?
It's not that I'm sticking her with that
Yes, you
obligation.
are. You are.
Back in November, when I was released from work, I made the payment in November faithfully with what was my final check. In December, well, I had found out I was pregnant and taken off permanently for work, and then I decided to go on disability. I tried to make it.
Did you buy another vehicle?
We purchased another vehicle, yes.
Who's we?
My husband and I.
Well,
But that was done...
Just a second. How could you purchase another vehicle?
That was done before all of this even happened.
You're paying on another vehicle unless you
That was
paid
my
for...
responsibility. Yes, it was. I paid on that vehicle. We purchased another vehicle because my husband has a job, and he purchased another vehicle prior to all of this happening.
Miss Dodd, that's not fair.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Lisa Escobedo says former friend Mary Dodd owes for loans to buy a truck and to hire an attorney.
Now, what's not fair is you assumed another responsibility, you and your husband, knowing that you had a prior responsibility to her to pay for this older truck. What year vehicle did you purchase?
2004 Excursion.
So you purchased a brand new car, And what were your payments on the brand new car?
His payments are
What are the payments?
His payments are $673.
What do you mean his payments? You don't live together?
Yeah, we live together. But
All right, $673. And what were your payments on this car?
$366. But I had no intention to give up the white truck. I intended to keep it, hopefully give it to my son when he finished high school. There was no intention to just say, here, I bought a new truck, I'm giving you this one back. That's not what I was going to do.
What did she say to you?
She called me the day they purchased the truck and told me she needed the account number or my social security number because they were going to trade the truck in. Then the next day she called me and said that they bought the truck anyways.
Just a second, they were going to trade the truck in.
Correct, but and then the next day she said they didn't trade it in. They purchased the truck, the Excursion, but they didn't trade it in because they only wanted to give her $4,000 on a trade-in because it's a hunk of junk now. And so they didn't want it, and they were still $12,000 owed. So they went and bought the truck anyways. Now they had, and when I asked her what she was going to do with the truck, the white truck, she said, we're going to have to make the payments on both. We don't have a choice.
And did she make payments on both the next month?
No.
I made the payment in November for that truck, and I paid the registration on that truck with the intent to keep the truck. Yeah, I did want to try to see if I could trade it in because I have a little car at home. But when they said no, well, you know, I wanted to get her name off of everything entitled with me.
Well, why didn't you do that?
They wouldn't give me what the truck was worth, and I thought, okay, I'll keep it. Why not? That's what my intention was.
So?
So I did. And I made the payment faithfully in November. I paid the registration on it.
And what happened in December?
I found out at the end of November that I was not going to be returning to work, and I had no income to pay. And I even attempted to sell it, and she wouldn't let me. She said she just couldn't do that right now because it was going to be taken over by a family member she knows that's very responsible. And you know, he would put it in his name, but to give him a couple weeks, and so she did, and I understand that. That was fine. I don't have a problem with that.
You're making a whole lot of double talk from you. Bottom line is, you didn't pay it. It's not her fault you got pregnant. It's not her fault you went on disability. It's not her fault that you and your husband decided to buy a more expensive new truck. It's not her fault. It's your fault. Stop making all of these sounds which suggests that somebody held you down when you became pregnant, that somebody held your hand to a piece of paper or his hand to a piece of paper when you bought a brand new Excursion truck. It's not somebody else's responsibility. It's yours.
My intentions were to keep the truck.
You could keep it, but you didn't pay for it in December.
Well, that's when everything took a turn. I was intending to go back to work.
Just a second, what kind of turn?
I was intending to go back to work. In the end of January, I lost my baby, and a week later, I lost my mother. I wasn't ready to go back to work.
Is there just a second? Is it her fault you lost your baby?
No, it's not.
Is it her fault you lost your mother?
Not, but I can't.
Then why didn't you pay for the truck? Did you pay for the Excursion?
He pays for his Excursion.
You do live together, don't you?
Yeah, but he is entitled to own a vehicle as well.
She don't want to be your friend anymore.
Exactly.
It's a very good. It's a very good thing
exactly what she said to me.
Because she lacks reasonable moral fiber.
You're absolutely right, Your Honor.
She lacks a sense of duty and responsibility and what's right and what's wrong. Get out your address book. Erase her name.
Please do
Judgment for the plaintiff for the amount of $5,000. That's all.
Excuse me, may step out.
23-year-old homemaker Kimberly Fitzgerald is suing her deceased father's fiancée, Leslie Whitney, for the return of her father's belongings. Kimberly says Leslie is a scammer.
Miss Fitzgerald, Miss Whitney and your father were together at the time that he died, and he died suddenly. He was a young man. He had a heart attack. And you want some property that you say belonged to your father. You're one of two children. You say your brother doesn't want anything of your father's. You do. He died without a will. And according to you, Miss Whitney won't let you have his belongings. Right?
Yep.
When did your father have a heart attack? Do you know the date?
September 9th, 2004.
And prior to September 9th, when had you seen him?
I saw him about 3 days earlier.
Where?
He stopped by my house to see my son, well, and me.
Prior to September the 6th, when your father came to see your son, when had you previously seen him?
The 4th of July.
How old was your father?
57.
Miss Whitney, how long had you and Vincent been together?
Over a year we were together, but we did not live together until June of last year.
He had another girlfriend in March.
Shh. You moved into his house?
Yes.
Where was he when he passed away?
He was on the road. He was a truck driver.
According to what I read, Vincent took out a life insurance policy with you as the beneficiary. Is that right? When did he do that?
In August.
Were you planning to get married?
Yes, we were going to be married September 17th, a week after he unfortunately passed away.
People invited to the wedding,
Yes.
including his daughter?
No.
Why not?
He said that he didn't want, there wasn't a close-knit family, and that's what he had told me. I had never met her, and he offered to, when he wanted to go see his grandchild and stuff, but it was like an in-and-out thing. He never really talked about his children.
How much was the life insurance policy that he took out in August?
$20,000.
But he named you as the beneficiary?
Yes.
Was there any other life insurance policy for any of his children?
No, there was not.
Did he have any bank accounts?
Yes, he did, but one was overdrawn, and the other one only had about $50 in it.
Now, I gather the day after your father died, you and your mother
Yes.
went to his apartment.
Yes. I didn't even know about her.
And how did you get into his apartment?
I was sitting outside. I didn't go into the apartment until Leslie came home.
How did your mother get into the apartment?
I don't know.
How did they get into the apartment?
They climbed through the kitchen window. It was a basement apartment. The windows were level with the ground. And I was on my way back from the hospital, and I came home, and she was outside with the baby, and the mother was in the bedroom.
What was your mother doing there?
She told me to wait outside. We had gone to my father's house to get his suit so that he could be buried. We were making preparations for his wake. And there was other paperwork and stuff that I needed. Since I am the administrator of my father's estate, I needed to get paperwork to straighten
Well, you
everything
weren't
out.
the administrator of his estate at that time because he died without a will.
No, at that
so
time I was not.
you had to petition the court for letters of administration.
Yes.
Did you do that?
Yes, I did.
Now, according to Miss Whitney, she ultimately allowed you to come in and take certain property from the apartment.
Yes.
Okay, now you're going to tell me what it is that you want.
We just want...
Who's we?
Well, okay, I just want the value of the property that was missing that Leslie told me I could have.
What do you want? Not the value. What do you want?
The kitchen table, the computer, the camera with the printer.
Kitchen table?
No, there's no kitchen table.
There's no kitchen table.
I moved
What else?
into the house myself.
What year?
Beginning of end of 2003.
Get over it. What else?
The computer. There was a brand new computer.
Where's the computer?
There was no computer. There was no computer. There's no kitchen table.
Okay. You have no idea where the computer is?
No, I don't.
What's next?
The digital camera.
Digital camera.
No, I don't. He had that. He used to carry that with him in his truck, and I didn't
What's
go
next?
to the truck.
The printer that went with the digital camera.
Miss Fitzgerald, get over it. From what I gather, based upon the fact that your father had taken out a life insurance policy and instead of naming his two children as beneficiaries, he named this lady as a beneficiary of his insurance policy, you did not enjoy with your father the kind of relationship that was warm, continuous, and loving. Is that a fair statement? Realized that she was living there and that they were living together. They planned to be married. They clearly were in a monogamous, intimate relationship because the life insurance policy was taken out in August. You got a lot of your father's property. Nothing there, as far as I'm concerned, are memento things that you're asking for. You don't want to hang the kitchen table on your charm bracelet or the camcorder or anything else.
No, but there was family pictures.
If you said to me, he had a watch that I would like to be able to give to my child one day because we were very close, or he had a ring that was a family heirloom or something that was very close to him. You want a kitchen table, a computer, a camera, and a printer.
And pictures.
Should have taken pictures. What pictures?
I didn't have access to them.
You went into the house 3 times. You didn't even mention the pictures, Miss Fitzgerald, when you said you wanted the value of these things or the things. You didn't even mention pictures. I think you have to have something to occupy your time more than what you have. Because this is nonsense. Get over it. Get a life.
The decency to show
That's
up at
all.
his funeral.
Bye.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Tree surgeon James Hackett is suing medical assistant Patricia Duval for cashing his winning lottery ticket after he lost it.
Mr. Hackett, it is your claim that the defendant cashed your winning lottery ticket.
Yes, ma'am.
Defendant says she found it. It's hers.
That's correct.
When did you purchase this lottery ticket, sir?
I purchased it on a Saturday. It was October the 2nd of last year. And on that day, I went down to the lottery agency and found they weren't open. So I put it in my wallet and decided...
Just a second. When was the drawing?
It was drawn that day.
The same day?
Yes.
Where did you watch the numbers?
It was on a TV screen in the store. The numbers came up. It was the first game. I won. I was amazed.
Had you played those numbers before, or was it a random?
Three of the numbers are birthdays. My mother's, and one of my other deceased brother's birthday. The other three are random numbers that come up a lot, so I play them together and happen to win.
Okay. Where did you purchase the ticket?
Chelmsford, Massachusetts.
Where?
It was a convenience store in Massachusetts.
When you found out that you won on these numbers, what did you do with your winning ticket?
I brought it up to the counter, and the store manager, what he does is a general practice. In that store, they photocopy it and hang it up on a little display thing to tout the winning numbers.
So he photocopied your lottery ticket.
He did, fortunately.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. James Hackett is suing Patricia Duvall for cashing his winning lottery ticket. Patricia says she found the ticket, so it should be hers.
What happened to the ticket, Mr. Hackett?
Well, the following Monday, I went back to work. I'm a professional tree climber.
A tree climber, what is that?
I climb trees and reduce them, take them down. I do difficult takedowns.
Okay.
And I did all the hard work in the morning, and there was one easy one. And 21 years of climbing, this one little stupid tree I'm climbing, a branch broke. I fell out of the tree 12 feet. I hit the ground. I break 8 ribs, my wrist. I puncture a lung. And the ambulance comes to get me, and I can hear a chopper coming. I can't breathe, and I have the guys flip me over on my back and take my gear off, my saddle, my hooks, my chainsaw, all the stuff, my helmet, was all my safety gear.
Is that when you claim that you lost your lottery ticket?
They cut my pants off, my wallet.
Is that what you claim?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Where exactly was this? Where did this happen?
In Berlin, Massachusetts.
Is that where you live, in Berlin?
No, ma'am.
Where do you live?
Douglas, Mass.
Were you in Berlin?
Not Berlin, no.
Where did you find the lottery ticket?
Northborough, Mass, at a Dunkin' Donuts parking lot.
How far is that from Berlin?
I couldn't tell you.
No.
It's a town or two away, ma'am.
So it's one town away.
Yeah, I believe so.
Good. Now we come to you.
Okay.
You found the lottery ticket in a Dunkin' Donuts parking lot,
Yes,
one
I did.
town away from where he lost his lottery ticket, right?
Yes.
And what did you do with it?
Well, my husband and I came out of the Dunkin' Donuts and we were going to our car, and I seen it on the ground, and I picked it up and looked at it. It also had like a confirmation with the ticket saying that apparently it was a winner. So it was late, it was about 6:37 at night.
What date?
October 7th.
Okay.
And so I picked it up, and the next day I went to the lottery agent, and sure enough, it was a winner, and it wasn't signed, so I signed it, and I did cash it.
Cash it. Okay. And how much money did you get?
$1,600.
Ma'am, I have a problem with that.
Shh. Now, Mr. Hackett, after you realized that your lottery ticket was missing, you contact the lottery office?
Yes, I boogied down there as soon as I got out of the hospital.
And at that point, you went down there with the numbers that you had.
Yes.
Did you go back to the store that had posted the winning lottery?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Let me see it, please.
Ma'am, she's saying she's found...
Oh, it's a Keno.
It's a Keno.
Keno.
game. I'm not in the habit of playing it, but if I have a fistful of dollars, I'll play it once in a while.
Okay. So you went down to them, got this.
Yes, ma'am.
Got this.
Unfortunately, they had photocopied that.
Right.
3 of those numbers are birthdays that mean something to me.
Don't say
Sorry,
anything.
ma'am.
You never can tell. So far, you're doing okay.
But, ma'am, I don't know this gentleman at all.
I don't
Never
know you
seen
either.
him before.
Mr. Hackett, did I give
apologize.
you an opportunity to speak? Was she quiet when you were speaking?
Yes, ma'am.
Don't interrupt her.
I've never seen him before in my life.
You don't have to see him.
And there was no signature on it. And like any normal person, if you find something that's worth something and there's no signature, no ownership, then you're going to keep it, you know?
I am satisfied that Mr. Hackett lost his lottery ticket.
Well, yes,
And based upon this, I am satisfied that the winning lottery ticket that you found belonged to Mr. Hackett.
Ma'am, I hit it.
I'm speaking!
Sorry. I'm sorry.
Let's say, Miss Duval, that you're walking along the street and you find a 4-carat emerald cut diamond. doesn't have a name, doesn't have an address, doesn't have anything. And you take it home. And you say, gee, this looks great. I'm going to size it and wear it on my finger. And you do. Then you're having your nails done a week later. And the woman at the next counter is sitting there and she says, it's a nice ring. And you say, yeah, I found it. She said, well, I lost my ring last week. Do you mind if we take it in to the jeweler? Because I have my GIA that you get when you buy a diamond, and it maps all the little dots in a diamond so it can identify, you know, one diamond from another. You go with her to the gemologist, and he said, that diamond belongs to that report.
Yes, and I would agree. Yes, I would agree.
That's her diamond.
Yes.
Even though you found it. Just a second.
Yes.
Even though you found it.
Yep.
He lost his lottery ticket. His problem is not with you finding it and cashing it. His problem is once you found out that it was his lottery ticket, you shouldn't have kept the money.
I just found out when I got notified.
Oh, there we go. So we have no problem. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $1,600. Thank you.
Your Honor. Parties are excused. You may step out.
20-year-old sales rep Jason Lay is suing his former co-worker, homemaker Sandra Costa, for stopping payment on a car he sold her. Sandra says the vehicle broke down the day after she bought it.
How old are you, Miss Costa?
31.
Married or single?
Single.
You have children?
Yes.
How many?
4.
How do you support them?
I've been getting jobs. I just had my last baby not too long ago, in last April, and I was just starting to get back on the roll of getting back to work.
Does the father of these children live with you?
No, he doesn't. Actually, he just passed away in November.
Did any of the children get death benefits?
They will be.
You've had cars before?
Yes.
You bought used cars before?
Yes.
Okay. This is what this case is about. Mr. Lay sold you a used car for $500.
Right.
And it broke down either on the way home or the next day.
Right.
Was it on the way home or the next day?
It was the very next day.
But you drove the car from his house to your house?
Yes.
How many miles was that?
Give or take about 50 or 60 miles.
Broke down. And then you stopped payment on the check?
After 4 days after he had said he would be there.
And you want your money?
Yes, ma'am.
How long had you had the car?
About a month and a half before I sold it to her.
Who did you buy it from?
I bought it from a friend of mine.
For how much?
$350.
Did you do anything to the car?
Yes, when I got it, it wasn't running, so I put some spark plugs, wires, that kind of thing, just made it to where it was running pretty good. And I'd actually planned on keeping it. When she was working with me, she told me that she needed a car pretty bad, so I decided to sell it to her.
Okay. Ms. Costa, you can't stop payment on the check.
Your Honor, he never gave me a bill of sale, a receipt, or a title for the vehicle.
So what? Listen, you can't make up excuses, Ms. Costa. Buying a used car from someone privately is always a risk. Always. Buying a car from somebody for $500 is a very big risk. And in this country, we have the words, they're in Latin. I'll tell you what they are. It's called caveat emptor, and it means let the buyer beware. When you buy a used car from somebody for $500, you don't expect it to keep running. If it does, you've really prayed good. You owe them $500. All the rest of the stuff that you want, you can't get. Your aggravation, your lost wages,
Well, Your Honor,
punitive damages, harassment.
It was more the harassment charge because of the tape that I have right here. Her boyfriend had called after this incident had happened and had threatened my life, had threatened my family's life.
This boyfriend?
I don't know who it is. I've never seen him. I've only heard him on my voicemail. He had called up me a voicemail threatening me and my family's life, and I was very threatened of it.
But not her.
Well,
she didn't call.
it was her and her boyfriend that was there. He even says on the
Listen
tape.
to me. Listen to me. This is probably the boyfriend. You the boyfriend?
Just a friend.
Just a friend. Are you the friend that went and picked her up and got the car?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
You're the friend?
Yes.
You mean she has a boyfriend other than you?
She don't have a boyfriend.
Then it must be you.
No, she has a friend.
Judge for the plaintiff for the amount of $500. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Student Camilla Butler is suing her former roommate, personal banker Nicole Owens, for breaking a lease and unpaid bills. Nicole says she gave Camilla ample notice.
Miss Butler, you and Miss Owens were roommates. You claim she moved out prematurely, owing you 2 months' rent. The 2 months were for the months that you were not going to be there, but you claim an agreement that she would pay rent until the end of May. You also claim she owes some bills. She said she gave you 3 weeks' notice, and she left her